Hey guys, Savagegamer2413 here. So you might have saw recently that I was going to do a Q&A on my channel again. Basically I haven't done one of these ever since Thanksgiving 2021. And basically what I'm going to do is answer all of your questions that you guys have submitted to me, so let's carry on. What got me so interested in YouTube anyways? So basically in 2016, I started watching elevator videos, which actually I still do have an interest to it to this day, because you might have saw I've uploaded a few. Basically this was during the time that me and RC23165 went to Knoebels in Cedar Point, and ever since then I was just like, hey, maybe this could be a good start to my channel. And so I did upload a few elevator videos back in 2016, and then I basically just uploaded random stuff too in that year. So basically I just thought it was like a really cool platform to maybe change myself, so that's basically why I did it in the first place. And hopefully, I mean, I'm still continuing on with it, and yeah, I think it'll turn out pretty good. What made me get into EAS in the first place? So in 2016, July, I'm pretty sure, I started to watch EAS content, and then towards August through the beginning of September, I was just like, this sounds like a really cool hobby to get into, because like I saw radio activations around then, and then I was just like, oh my goodness, maybe I should try to buy myself a weather radio. But I didn't do that until Christmas 2016 when I got my WR300, which actually, it is somewhere here. Yeah, it's right there. And that basically is why I started, or that's basically like the reason I started to get into it, because I got my first EAS in April 2017, and then Christmas 2018 I got my WR120, which is around the same, yeah, it's in the same area as I just pointed out where the 300 is. But this year it slowed down for me a little bit, just because we moved to a new place, and I don't really have, I have, I'd say half of my radios plugged in, but the other half is unplugged just because I can't get some channels very clearly anymore. Not even KH35, I can't get that as clearly as I used to. Same thing, WWG53 is more clear than it was before, but it's pretty much equal. And then State College, or WXM33, which is all this right here, I can get extremely clear from that spot. But overall, it just kind of died down for me, because moved to a new place I can't really get anything as clear as I used to. But yeah, basically that's how I started. What got me interested into filming hand dryers is what is my favorite dryer. So I'll start with my favorite dryer just because this one's pretty easy, and it's the World Dryer Verto Dry V2. But I would say my second would probably be the World Dryer VMAX V2, which I've only found one VMAX V2 at Embassy Suites. And then I found currently 6 Verto Dry V2s. I have 2 I have not uploaded yet, which I will probably in the next few weeks, maybe month or two. But I guess we'll see what happens. But the reason why I like both is just the sound of them, and their light effects are also why I really like them. So basically that's that. And then we had a match at North Park, basically where I first filmed the Accelerator Eco, and I was basically like really into, or I was kind of getting into it now, and I was just like, this could be a new thing I do, and that's filming hand dryers. And then at my school building, there were a lot of Model A's, and then a few Bradleys, and then one Dayton. So I wanted to film the majority of the hand dryers that were at my school building. And then whenever I filmed the second bank, I didn't even realize until a few people pointed out that they were from the 1970s, which are kind of rare, or which are quite rare nowadays. And then I didn't even know they were that rare at the time, but I guess they were. But yeah, ever since the North Park Eco that I filmed back in 2021, I was just like, this could be a really interesting hobby for me to get into. And now I'm like really into it, as you may know. I already have, and I have 1,250 plus hand dryers captured, so I didn't even think I'd make it that far at all, but yeah, that's basically how I started with that. Alright, so Brian Shillup Jr. asked me 4. So what is my favorite song that you like to make a track with to share on your DJ channel? Assuming that means my favorite tracks I've ever made. So it'd probably be Feel the Wave at number 1 because I made it for a very, very close friend of mine. And then second would be Determination because that one was hard to make, but I liked how it turned out. And then my latest one, Autumn, I also really like how that one turned out. And yeah, basically those 3 are my go-tos because of the way they sound, and some of them mean memorable moments. Actually, Feel the Wave is one of them. So what radios would you pick from best to worst? This can go on a long list, but I won't really disclose all of them just because this is a Q&A and I don't want to take too long on them. But yeah, I'm a bit of a toss-up on that. But from worst radio, well, this isn't really the worst radio, but it's definitely not my favorite. But honestly, Accurate 08550s, I just don't really like the docks that they come with because the majority of them are kind of weak and they just don't work well. But I'd also say the Cobra CW200 I'm not so much of a big fan of just because of the way you charge it. You have to use 2 chargers on it, according to my experience, I guess. I don't really have a way to pinpoint that, but just charging it is frustrating and I just don't like it at all. Best radios, for, like, my opinion, I guess. I mean, I really like the W300. I'd say it's a really good choice. Sangene CL100 is also a good one for me. I like the way they sound. They're quite loud, yes, but it's fine. And then I would say some E-tons too, like the Sidekick's a good option. FRX5 reception's okay, but it's not necessarily the best. I mean, I use my Sidekick a lot. ER310 I use a lot. 993 I use a lot. And actually my WeatherX RWB 88172, which is right about there. Yeah. I'm looking at the viewfinder, so it's probably not as accurate. So, those 3 I pretty much use a lot. But this can go out a long list, so I'm not going to really name everything from that. So, funniest moments from the past on my YouTube channel. I can name a lot. I won't say everything just because I don't want to take forever. But the most recent moment when Antonio fell was pretty funny.
Hi. Oh, Jesus.
And then a moment that we did with the Memorial Day collab, I think 2022. That also was really funny. And the majority of the collabs I would do are also pretty funny, but it's basically just like collab vids I would do that I feel as if they're quite funny. Do you have a Christmas song favorite? That is a great one. I'd say Little Drummer Boy is my favorite, and then Sleigh Ride by Leroy Anderson's also a favorite. But I don't really have a third favorite because it's basically just like those 2 I like a lot, and I can't really name anything else that I like. So, when did I get into the EAS WX community? So I uploaded my first EAS, like I said before, on April 2017, and it was basically like whenever I was doing an average of 12 speed stacks at the time, I think, and I saw that my radio went off during it, so I was just like, might as well film my first EAS then. So basically, April 2017 is when I first filmed my first EAS. Okay, the hand dryer guy asked me 4 as well. So, what is my favorite hand dryer? VMAX V2, Veritadrive V2. Basically, those 2 are like no-brainers for me at this point. So, what's the rarest hand dryer you found? Okay, so this is actually quite recent. At Knoebels, I found 350s Model A's, and basically, I think Robert has a 50s Model A uploaded on his channel, but there's not many out there. There's also another one too that I thought was there as well. Oh yeah, the Sloan what is it, EHD 120. There it is. Found that at Circle K in Myrtle Beach, thanks to Justin for that actually. And then I'd say the Optima at CVS is also quite rare too. That was actually branded by Bradley too, so that was kind of like up there as well. And then also in Myrtle, the Metaclinic Smockville Pluses that I found at the Tanger outlets in Myrtle Beach. That was also like, I couldn't even believe that. I couldn't even believe I found those. ASI Turbo Dry Jr. is another one. I found that at the Molini's Harp and Fiddle. I think it's still there to this day, but I just have to see once I eventually go back there. So how did I get into hand dryers? Basically, like I said before, I just wanted to film my first one. At the time we had the match at North... Every time I had a match at North Park, I just wanted to get the eco that was there and record it for myself, maybe upload it, and get into it. So basically that's what I can do from there. So what is my least favorite hand dryer? I don't really have many that I just like strongly dislike, but if I had to choose one that I do dislike, I would probably have to say maybe the Global, just because the way they dry, it does not dry very well at all. It's very slow and it just does not work well for me. So yeah, that I can say is probably down there with my least favorite hand dryers I've ever gotten. What is your dream car? So this is going to be an expensive choice, but I would have to go with a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. I really, really like supercars, and I just think that those things sound really cool. They look awesome too, so that's basically what I'm gonna have to go with. When did you get your first weather radio, and what was it? W300. I got on Christmas 2016, which is right there. And yeah, that's basically what I got for that. Besides drums, what is your dream musical instrument? So this can be two. This is two. I'd say the baritone saxophone, and then the contrabass clarinet, which is B flat. Not to be confused with the contra-alto clarinet, which I played my senior year. Which actually one of my tracks on my music channel is called Contra, and I used a contra-alto clarinet. But the contrabass clarinet, I love the way they look and sound. And same thing with the baritone saxophone. Ever since I heard it in my elementary school days, I was like, oh my god, I want to get into this now. But I ultimately went with the bass clarinet just because I was a bit of a smaller choice, and it seemed a bit more, like, reasonable for me. So that's basically why I played bass clarinet instead. But hands down, my dream instruments would be the baritone saxophone and contrabass clarinet. So how did I get interested in the hand dryers? Like I said before, I wanted to film my first one ever since I had a match at North Park. Basically, that was the thing I thought was going to be like a new era for me. So there's that. And then when did I still start filming EAS alerts? April 2017. That's whenever I got my first one. And then I've kept going ever since, but I've slowed down just because we moved places, and I just didn't really have much to really go for my current setup right now, which is still kind of messy, but I have half my radios unplugged like I just mentioned earlier. What is the most dryers you filmed in a day, and what day was it? That is a really good one. I would say July 6th, 2023. I caught 78 dryers, and that was actually, and most of them are in Various Hand Dryers Caught number 20, which is my most popular Various Hand Dryers Caught episode. Basically, that entire compilation has 80 plus, and some of them were 2 days, but the majority of that entire compilation was all in 1 day, which I still couldn't even believe I did. But basically, yeah, all of that has made it onto the compilation. And I started hunting I started doing the hunt at 10 a.m. and I went until somewhere around 7:30 to 8 p.m. So that was a very, very long hunt, and I'm glad I did it because it went very well. What places do you recommend to check in hand dryer sprees for good stuff? Ooh, McDonald's probably could be a guarantee for hand dryers, but likely the newer ones may come out with better results. Actually, older or newer, but the middle is pretty much like Slim Dry era, so that shouldn't even be a surprise anymore. But basically, I'd say McDonald's, maybe newer Burger Kings, newer Taco Bell's definitely, newer Big Lots is definitely as well. But basically, like, newer places. But I mean, some vintage jars do show up in older places, so maybe it could go either one. But I guess we'll have to find out. Are you looking forward to breaking the record for the most amount of jars you filmed in one day? That I might look forward to. I honestly think I could do it, but I need to find some places outside of Allegheny that I have not spreed for yet, and maybe see what all I can get during the surrounding counties of the KIH-35 territory, which, actually, that was what I was planning on doing. I was actually planning on going all throughout the KIH-35 territory. Maybe... I'm not entirely sure about going to the counties in West Virginia yet, but But honestly, whenever I feel like it, could be potential of trying, maybe. Any upcoming vacations in 2024 or Christmas 2023? I don't think we're traveling on Christmas 2023, but in 2024 we're heading back to Myrtle Beach. Because, like, we all really enjoyed it. We all really enjoyed heading to Myrtle Beach, and yeah, basically, we're not gonna drive this time. We're probably gonna fly, but unfortunately, it may cost if I were to do a hand dryer hunt or not. But either way, it should be quite good if I'm actually able to see the other locations that I missed out on. So I guess we'll have to see about that. Oh, this is one I was waiting for. What got you interested in golf? So basically, in my very young stage, I was just like, I was watching golf on TV with my dad at the time, and basically, after maybe a week or two after that, we decided to get like a set of plastic clubs just for fun, and I did not want to stop at all. I basically just wanted to continue and go from there, and then I believe this was like a year, maybe 2 years after that, we got a real set of clubs for me. Of course, they were the U.S. Kids Golf Junior stuff, so obviously I wasn't tall enough for the big stuff. But then he saw that I was hitting pretty well, and I didn't do any like things back then. I didn't do any like leagues or whatever, but we talked about it, and I just was not very interested into it. But yeah, honestly, I just really liked the concept of it, and I just thought that was really fun, just hitting as far as you can. So that's basically kind of why, like, I got interested into it, and I still am very into it to this day. How many radios do you exactly own? So right now, I own 113. I don't even know how I'm in the hundreds, but like I said before, probably like a quarter, maybe half of no. Like, the majority of them are unplugged just because, like I mentioned before, I can't really get a station very clear anymore. How long have I been to EAS? Since July 2016, so that would be almost 7.5 years. Favorite roller coaster? Definitely Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. I would say that one is probably, like, my number one right now. Second, just because me and my family didn't expect it, Maverick Cedar Point, because, like, we rode that in the dark. That was our first ride we've ever done, and we had no idea where we were after that. And then because this one is very local to me, I'd say Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. That one definitely stands up as one of my favorite coasters I've been on. You suck so much. Will Antonio ever give you up, let you down, run around and desert you, make you cry, say goodbye, tell a lie, and hurt you? Antonio, you're gonna have to answer that for yourself. If you were a furry, what species would you be? I honestly don't even think I can answer that. Because I have absolutely no clue. Favorite roller coaster? Like I mentioned before, Steel Vengeance. And then it would be Maverick, then Phantom's Revenge in my top 3. So, basically those 3 are in my tops right now. If there was one place you could travel to, where would it be? I really want to visit LA again. Because we went to LA pretty much for, like, all Christmas break. And basically we kind of stopped that in 2014, I'm pretty sure. And then we went again in 2016, and we have never been back to California ever since 2016. So I would want to visit California yet again. How did you get into the hand dryer videography? And if there was one dryer you would want to film one day, what would it be? Like I said before, North Park, with the accelerator eco started me off. I just wanted to film that and get a new era for my channel. And basically still going strong to this day. And then one dryer, if I would want to film one day. Oh, there's a few here I can mention, but hands down, World Dryer VMAX version 1. That would be my number 1. A regular mock flow by Metaclinics. I would say the plus, but I mean, I've already filmed 2, so that's off. But then Metaclinics Dual Flow, I really like the way they look, and I'm kind of intrigued to know how they actually are in person. And then Royal Sovereign, knockoff Smart Dry. I keep forgetting the model number of it, but that's fine. So, other than that, basically, oh yeah, Dyson Airblade Mark II. I would want to film one of those eventually, because, I mean, they sound the same as the DBs, but they're just newer versions of the Dyson Airblade, I guess. So, I could say those probably would be the ones I would want to film most. Did you have a dream radio when you started collecting? If so, what was it and did you get it? So, yes, actually, I did have quite a few dream radios. WR301 was one. I have it now. I mean, I've had it ever since my birthday, 2021. Black and Silver was also one, obviously. I got that July 27th, 2022, I believe it was. And then Spark SHD TX2, I got that this year via Meetup. And actually, we did a trade when Antonio came back to Pittsburgh. So I have his Spark, he's got Jamie's. And one I don't have that I would want to get is a WX500. However, I heard that they're pretty mediocre on wireless transmitters like KIH, so that's kind of unfortunate. What was the most expensive radio you own? Oh god, I would say probably the WX100. I got that in January 2022. No, January 2021, I think is what it was. Yeah. So what is your favorite hand dryer? Veritage IV2, VMAX V2, pretty much what I mentioned before. And then, do you drive a car? If so, what car do you drive? That includes color, make, model, and year. So right now, I have a 2010 Toyota Corolla LE in tan. And basically, we're probably gonna trade it in for something maybe a little bit newer in spring 2024. But I guess we'll have to see whenever that time comes. How long have you been in the EAS community for? I have been into it since 2016, but then I filmed my first EAS in 2017, like I mentioned before. Yes, a great question. Potato salad. I prefer potato. Thanks, Torcon. What is cheese? A food. Oh god, okay. Do you have a radio in your collection that you wish you could chuck out your window? Oh god. I would say probably because it doesn't work well, this thing. Because the dock that it came with is so bad and it doesn't not like to function properly. And then another one because of its annoying because of its siren that goes on continuously until you turn it off, the Sears 305. The foghorn. What? Oh wait. Opinion on 1989 Taylor's version. I did listen to a lot of Taylor Swift back in the day, and still to this day I do like the album. I think it's a pretty good one. I don't really listen to much of that nowadays. I'm basically just like an EDM guy, because obviously I'm a music channel, that's why I write. Opinion on Morgan Wallen. So, I'm not a country fan at all, by any means, but I do like some of his stuff. I think it's written out pretty nicely, and I listen to him every once in a while too, but just not much, I guess. Alright, and that wraps it up for the Q&A. Thank you guys so much for the questions that you have submitted to me, and yeah, until next time, Savagegamer2413 is signing out.